Happy Monday for everybody out there that doesn't need to work right now. This is South Florida One's half-hour album review, and I am your host, Gold TA 70s Chick. And today I'm going to be doing Miles Davis, The Complete Bitches Brew Sessions. And as you can hear, that's the title track to Bitches Brew. And once again, I don't own the rights to any of this music, so we will go ahead and delve into Miles Davis' first and only highest charting album on Billboard Top 40 albums. Went to number 36 in 1970. And it was a change of direction from his old bebop kind of jazz, really nice jazz. He's one of my favorite trumpeters. And of course, when he went this direction, people were like, it always received mixed reviews due to the unconventional style. And it really broke the mold in jazz, like psychedelic jazz. It became funk jazz. And of course, his ex-wife at the time, Betty Davis, which I covered a few weeks ago, she was responsible for a lot of this. She pushed him in that musical direction and influenced him. And supposedly the title was named after her, her Bitches Brew, and he called her Backseat Betty. Anyway, like I said, it really breaks the mold. And it was released in March 30th, 1970, and it actually won a Grammy in 1971 for the Best Large Jazz Ensemble Album. And it was certified gold in 1976. And this was recorded just after Woodstock, right around about a week afterwards. And it would have been great to see him at Woodstock. Of course, I would never know. Unfortunately, that was only a year and a half when it came about. So I was born in the wrong decade. So, and again, it's one of the greatest jazz albums and major influence on rock and funk musicians. And he may have influenced Funkadelic, which was the first real funk ensemble, was Funkadelic Parliament. And Betty Davis was the queen of funk. And of course, actually this album is listed in a book called 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. And this was certified, it was gold in 1976, and it went platinum in 2003. And in a lot of the songs, you can hear his gravelly, raspy voice, like one song, because he was temperamental. He was, I can't remember, was his producer, Teo Macero. He's telling Miles to play something. He's like, yeah, when we play it. And he's like, all right. So actually, a lot of these were recorded, these compositions were recorded between August of 69 and February 1970. And it was originally, hi, glad you can make it. And where did the music go? Okay, let me go to another track. Oh, wrong one, I think. Oh, that's the end of this one. Let me put on another one. But anyway, a lot of these tracks were, the regular tracks on the album were only like six songs, six long compositions, and recorded around August 69. And then there are more that were added on that were recorded from the same sessions, but for some reason, a lot of them weren't released until this whole package came out, Miles Davis, The Complete Bitches Brew Sessions. And let me show you some of the artwork here. This is the front and back cover. This is the front, and I think this was the back. And look how psychedelic and trippy that is. And let's see, there's some more artwork in here. Look at this. Isn't that spooky? But anyway, yeah. So all those other unreleased songs, there were some actually released on an album called Big Fun, came out in 1974, and a lot of these were from these sessions. And he was always kind of confusing in an intricate way. He'd make all these songs, and they'd never end up on albums until later on, when they do the complete In a Silent Way sessions, the complete Jack Johnson section, and so on and so forth. But I think these were released more than likely after his death in 1991. And it's funny how he became a heroin addict in the 70s, and he was out on the streets, and he outlived what's his name? John Coltrane, who was 40 when he died. And he was born around the same time Miles Davis was in 1926. Of course, he outlived Louis Armstrong because Louis Armstrong was much older than them. And he also outlived Chet Baker, who was another born around 1929. He died in 1988. I think he fell out of a window. He was really strung out on heroin too. So evidently he outlived a lot of them, which is really kind of a shock. But let me see if there's another, let me get another, here, what about this one? Great Expectations here. How about this? Great Expectations. I think that was on it was on the Big Fun album in 1974. And it kind of stops and starts, and it kind of gets, like a lot of his songs, sometimes they take a long time to start up because it's always constantly same notes over and over again. But it's still worth hearing. Okay, Sanctuary, let's see. What's this one? Great Expectations. Well, here's Great Expectations. Like I said, this is all funk psychedelic jazz here on this. And for the rest of it, like I said, they were recorded right after Woodstock. And my favorite compositions are one called Recollections. And I'm going to play that for you, and I'm going to describe it. I'm going to read it from the booklet here. And there's another one called Little Blue Frog, parts 1 and 2. And you can hear there's this instrument. It's called, I can't pronounce it, but it's spelled Cuica. And it was played by a Brazilian percussionist named Airto Moreira. And it kind of goes, so it sounds like a frog. But anyway, I'm going to have to get my glasses on for this. And actually, what I'm going to do instead, I wanted to throw this in so you can see what it sounds like. And I'm going to put on one of my favorites called Recollections, and I will go ahead. My description of Recollections is, and as a matter of fact, somebody I read on the ratings on YouTube, the comments on that song, they must be my long lost twin, because this person said, oh, it's like a clear California morning and the air is cool. And I'm like, oh my God, because this reminds me of being like a Florida winter's day where it's nice and chilly, but not deathly cold, but it's nice and chilly. And you can kind of sit in your backyard or maybe on a hammock, wrap up in your robe. And it's like a clear day. I mean, no clouds, all quiet. And that's what it reminds me of. And it's such a beautiful composition. I'm going to have to turn it up because it's really, low in the beginning. So this is disc 2. No, wait a minute. What am I doing? Hold on. Just a moment. It's this one, disc 4. Pardon me. Wait, this is... Oh my goodness, I've got them mixed up. Hold on. I guess I can't play it. Oh well, I guess I can't play it. I'm sorry. Oh, is it 2? No, it's not on this disc. I'm sorry. I can't believe it. I totally messed that up. But I will be able to play the Little Blue Frog parts 1 and 2 when I'm done. Let me just put this in, and I'll read you the Recollections. I am so sorry I can't play this. I got the Big Fun, and it's the wrong disc. Otherwise, I would have been able to play it. I got disc 2 instead of disc 1. Okay, come on. Sorry about this. Yeah, that's a bit much. This one's called, oh yeah, here's a Little Blue Frog. Funky, like Betty Davis. Like I said, Little Blue Frog, part 1, this is a long 12-minute composition. And then number 2, is like 9 minutes, and you can hear the constant and that one always reminds me of being where my hubby and I got married in La Jolla Resort in Isla Morada, like a nice, warm, kind of hot, sunny, but a little bit not too hot. You're laying on the beach there that it had with the chairs and people going on the stand-up paddle boards and kayaks. So anyway, let's get into recollections. Read what this is. Okay. Which is Brew. Recollections. Where are you? Okay, Recollections. Recorded February 6, 1970. Month before you were born, Dana. Recollections is one of Joe Zawinul was his electric pianist. Recollections is one of Joe Zawinul's most elegant folk song compositions. It is such a treat to hear the sound of Miles Davis singing these nostalgic, sentimental phrases that Joe creates. It has a drone-like quality centered around E major, similar to In a Silent Way, which is another one of my favorites. It's a very mellow, really nice, and it has 2 long compositions, and then that was released later, the complete In a Silent Way sessions, which I'm going to probably purchase. And Miles's Harmon mute is tender, and his open sound is a model of elegant loneliness. At 11:56, the energy level picks up, which it does, and the interaction comes alive. As they wind down the performance, Miles plays only parts of the melody and improvises around the shapes. They aren't really any solos, yet they are all soloing. That concept became the modus operandi for a soon-to-be formed band. So that's pretty much, I don't really see loneliness in that, but more peace, more like, not loneliness, but you're alone. You're kind of enjoying yourself, in the cool, nice, cool weather. See, and now we're going to go to Little Blue Frog. And I'm going to play. You hear that? You hear how cool that sounds? Okay, where is it? I can hear that bass in the background. Okay, where are you? Oh, okay. Little Blue Frog. Now I'm going to play second part because that's my favorite. Wonder where Lee is. He was supposed to make it. I told him 1:30. And Lady Peeps hardly ever comes on. I don't think she's been doing too well physically, but I understand though. I hope she's okay and hanging out. I'm going to turn this up. I wonder if you can hear it. Not sure if you can hear that or not. I hope the sound comes through because my last one, when I did the almonds, the sound was choppy and I was really disappointed. But okay, let's see. That reminds me of being at La Jolla Resort in Isla Morada, but unfortunately Russians took over it, so there's a whole lot new rules. And we are very disappointed that it changed hands. And because it's not the same, you can hear good. Awesome, good. All right, well, anyway, about this composition, 1 and 2, recorded November 28, 1969. I was 8 months, about 9 months old. Yeah, 9 months old, exactly. So anyway, The Little Blue Frog is a jam in the key of G. That's all it really is, which it is, just a jam. It may have leaned closer to a rock jam, but it was a strong cross between jam rock and jam jazz. Take 3, which is the alternate take, is tempoed in a great groove. Steve Grossman quotes parts of Coltrane's solo Tunji, just a jam. Take 4, the master take, begins as take 3 ended. Miles, Benny, and Grossman play over the groove. At 6 minutes and 24 seconds, the groove slows and then begins again. On this take, there's more communication between Miles and the band, and they find the right directions. So those are 2 of my favorite. I mean, I like them all. I mean, you have to be, it's like a lot of his compositions, like I said, they're very intricate. And there are some that are as long as 20. Longest one here is almost 30 minutes, 26 minutes and 58 seconds, not cents. But anyway, let me see if there's anything else here that, let's see, lady, yeah, you can just listen to it and get a feel. And it says here, here's one. After all is said and done, Bitches Brew had a profound impact on American and world music. The musical movement, fusion, had its birth on this album and did seminal music groups like Weather Report, Return to Forever, which I've never heard of, some of whose band, oh, here, I like this. I love this part. That part right there. I used to play when I was laying out on the beach there, the little sandy area at La Jolla Resort. And boy, do I miss those times. I mean, he and I, we had a good time there. We had a long run where, because we were frequent customers, we always got a 30% discount, and it was really nice. But the last time we went there was on our second honeymoon. And yeah, so it's a sad thing to say. But anyway, like Joe Zawinul, the album's influence extended into pop, rock and roll, and rock. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a difference. The release of Bitches Brew was truly one of the watershed moments in American musical history, despite what some of its detractors might say. Time and history have proven this, and now we find today that there was more great music recorded during those 8 legendary one-day sessions spread out between August 1969 and February 1970. Music that has gone unheard of because it has been buried deep within Columbia's vaults since the release of Bitches Brew. Why some, like I was been saying, a lot of these other compositions like this one were buried for, and it says why some of this music has not been released for almost 30 years, or 28 to be exact, is a mystery. Hopefully some of those who were involved one day deal with, because some of it is first rate. A lot of it is. And it has something to do, I think, with he had to put out 2 records per year and keeping terms with his contract in Columbia. So contracts had a lot to do with it, of course. But somebody stated here, Bob Belden, who was the reissue producer for Bitches Brew, he said if anything sucked that he recorded, Miles would have had his producer erase it. But with these sessions, he didn't erase everything, which was awesome because, and it's weird how a lot of times with a lot of artists, recording artists or singer-songwriters, a lot of what became their biggest hits or their biggest releases, a lot of them say they didn't like, or, oh my God, I can't believe that ended up on record. That wasn't supposed to be released, and it usually ends up being a blockbuster. Kind of like a lot of times when I do my shows, I'm always very self-critical, and I always think, oh God, it was so bad, and I hear a lot of good feedback from people. So sometimes I think when you try too hard, it shows, and a lot of times it brings down the mood. So, I figure just let go with the flow. And let's see, there was other things here. Let me see. This was all, improvisation, and it was just, like I said, a lot of jams, a lot of improvising. That's what he normally did, was a lot of improvisation on this album and a lot of other albums forward, because there's a lot of stuff, like I said, he recorded and shelved and re-released. Now, here's where you can really hear the frog. It's coming. Here. Wait a minute. It's going to really kick in here. Come on. Here we go. And I hate frogs. I like snakes. I can pick up snakes with no problem. Maybe because they're not real slimy. But Don't get me near frogs. I'll lose it. I don't like them. Anyway, that being said, one of the instruments that's making that noise, and again, it's pronounced C-U-I-C-A, and I can't explain it, but I've seen a lot of live. We got some live Miles Davis DVDs that are phenomenal, and you see him, Erito Morera, on the side of the stage. He's going. Sounds like the Fat Boys. Anyway, sorry about my silliness, but yeah, a lot of his live stuff is phenomenal. And actually, my hubby, I got him a DVD set, and it was from the 80s. It was I can't remember the name of it, but I didn't like his 80s stuff because it was all the electronic drums and all that crappy, like, just watered down. But he's always awesome. And it was called the Tutu. The name of the album was Tutu. And it was that around those songs. And actually, I'm watching it with him. It was filmed in 87. I'm like, yeah, this isn't too bad. But as a rule, I don't like a lot of the, oh, it's too, oh, man. Oh, it's such a shame. Well, anyway, it's such a shame you made it late, but I understand. But this song I'm playing is called The Little Blue Frog. And there's an instrument in the background that goes, Lee, you might know what this instrument is. It's spelled C-U-I-C-A. And it's one of these things where one of the percussionists that Miles Davis had was, it was. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, shit. If I would have known that. Here, let me, I'll keep this playing. I'm so mad because I wanted to play a composition, one of my favorites called Recollections. And it was, oh, good. I was wondering where you were. Good, you saw it. Oh, awesome. So I'm like, where is he? He should be here. And anyway, it was like the Fat Boys. That's what it sounded like. And it's, Lee, it's one of those, this is Guinevere, where you go like this, and you're going like, and it looks so silly. You should see Erito Morera on the side of the stage, and his frizzy hair is blowing everywhere, and then he takes a bunch of other percussion things, and he's maybe one of my favorite recording artists, aside from Louis Armstrong, one of my favorites. I mean, all his music, I can get so into, and I got a lot of his albums. One of them's called Blue Moods, and it was only 4 compositions, and I love to play it early in the morning, like it reminds you of a Key West morning, sitting outside with your coffee, and old school, reading the paper. And another one I like, of course, is I mentioned before, In a Silent Way, really nice. And another one that's more rock oriented, really hard rocking, is called A Tribute to Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was a boxer back in the 30s and 40s, and that was his tribute to him. And there's other sessions with that too as well. But the thing with him is a lot of his sessions, like I have a lot of his live albums, and he does the same songs in a lot of them, but they're all different. He was just so diversified, and he was another one of those Geminis. So that explained a lot. But he tended to be really nasty. I don't know if it was the heroin but he had that raspy voice after that mishap happened with his throat, and he was, of course, yelling at somebody. Yeah, they talk like this. Yeah. Truly one of the greats. Just love him. And anyway, I think that's about really, sums it up. To sum it up, it was just the very beginning. It was the beginning of psychedelic jazz started with him, and it was all thanks to Miss Betty Mabry, aka Mrs. Betty Davis, who she was pictured on the front of an album called Fee de Kilimanjaro. And that's another awesome album recorded in 1968. And there was one song in there, a composition called Mademoiselle Miss Mabry. So she was a lot of the influence to that. And I think that, like I said, he had a lot of talent, a lot of things. It's a good thing. A lot of these things these compositions that were shelved, never got erased, and you get to hear them now in the complete Bitches Brew sessions. And anyway, that ends the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you know anybody that likes retro music, that likes to go back in time and, you know, relive their memories of the music, what they remember if they even knew, or maybe become a new aficionado of the old jazz, psychedelic, old rock. I do mostly classics, mostly 70s and 60s. So you're welcome. And let them know, refer them to my channel, and please give a thumbs up and comment. And hopefully I can get some more viewers that will like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. And I will see everybody on Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Same time, same place. Bye.